All right, the regular meeting of the mayor and the city of Port Allen, City Council, City of Port Allen, Louisiana, date Wednesday, October 11th, 2023. It's 5:36 p.m. City Council Chamber, third floor, City Hall. Each person must decide before entering the council chambers the agenda item they wish to comment on. If they're not seated in the chambers when the agenda item is heard, they will be notified by an officer to enter the council chambers to address that agenda item. Agenda, please silence all electronic devices. Agenda item number 1, call to order. Agenda item number 2, pledge allegiance. Please stand. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Agenda item 3, roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Ms. Gordon?
Here.
Mr. Hubble?
Here.
Ms. Lacy? Present. Mr. Revere?
Here.
All present.
Thank you. Agenda item number 4, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on September 13th, 2023.
I make a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Gordon, second by Councilwoman Lacy. Any objections? Hearing none. Agenda item 5, public comments. Comments from the public are allowed in accordance with the Louisiana Revised Statute 42, Code 11, Section 2 through 34, and specifically limited to an agenda item to be considered during the meeting. 3 minutes per person and 15 minutes per topic. Agenda item number 6. Hear from Thomas Pierce on small business community redevelopment. Mr. Pierce.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Mayor, thank you for allowing us to be present here tonight to tell you about our programs. I'm with South Central Planning and Development Commission, and our purpose is to promote economic development for small businesses within this Port Allen in the area. And we have a program right now where we help small businesses that's been impacted by Hurricane Ida in the flood of 2021 in May. And tonight I have with me Mr. Cullen Curall, our attorney and program manager, who's going to give you some more detail about what we do and what we're trying to do to help small businesses in this area.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you again for having us today. As Tom mentioned, we're here with it's in federal dollars. Office of Community Development has, you've heard of all the Restore programs. There's a big housing push. Everything restored. There's a Laura Delta version for the western part of the state, and here we are today with the Ida version. Thank goodness that Hurricane Ida was not dead center looking at Port Allen, but the parish was apparently impacted enough that it made it within the Phase 1 program area. So I would suspect that somewhere here in the parish, or more in particular, in Port Allen, there are businesses that were impacted by that we want to let them know about this program so that they can take advantage of it. And again, everything I'm going to say has to do with the zip code here in Port Allen. The rest of the parish, ironically, will be in a Phase 2, and I'm making the assumption that there will be a Phase 2, that the money doesn't go out and they use it all in the Phase 1 parishes and zip code areas. So again, everything I'm going to say tonight has to do with the zip code here in Port Allen. So again, the feds, Housing and Urban Development, sends money to the state. The state develops a cast of programs. One of the programs is the Restore Small Business Loan Program. It has to do, as Mr. Pierce said, with the Hurricane Ida and the floods of May of 21. Now, I know the area on the other side of Baton Rouge was hit pretty hard, that Gonzales to, Airline Highway area. I don't know if there was flooding here in Port Allen in May of 21, but it was a series of storms. It hit Calcasieu, it hit that area, it hit Rouge, where I'm from. So again, I don't know if you were hit by the May floods, but again, everybody was around for Hurricane Ida, and you may be able to help us identify businesses in this area that could take advantage of this. So who can, and what I'm doing, this is my PowerPoint, this is kind of my cheat sheet. The brochure has much more information, which includes the website, the 800 number, how to get an appointment. We do have an office on South Harold Ferry Road. We are a planning development district, just like Capital Region Planning Commission. Again, with our sister agency, we do a little bit more planning, or we do a little bit more work statewide. So again, we don't worry about what parishes we are serving. We're here to serve. In this example, we're serving the business community. So again, impacted by with non-construction expenses. Again, what we're trying to do is put money into businesses. It's federal money, so if we do construction work, you gotta get into data staking and a lot more bureaucracy. So if we can make you eligible, we can potentially fund you with some equipment money and some working capital. This is the program area that I've described. The gold area is the IDA area. As we keep on, what businesses might be eligible? To be eligible, you have to have at least one employee. One employee can be the owner. It can be mom and pop. If the idea is they have to be able to say that they participate in their business, and between the two of them or either one of them, they do about 35 hours a week. We know small businesses do much more than 35 hours a week, but that's the federal full-time equivalent. So at least one employee, no more than 50. Again, we're not trying to fund, Dow Chemical and all that big, conglomerates. We're trying to find small businesses to take advantage of this. You have to have been open for IDA. Again, this is not to start a new business. This is for businesses impacted by. You have to you have to either be still open, or if you closed, you have to be ready to reopen. And these funds can potentially help you to reopen. So if your business was closed by IDA, you've not been able to figure out how to reopen, this might be the opportunity. You had to have at least $25,000 of gross revenue in the year prior. So 2020, $25,000 gross revenue. The idea again is let's fund full-time businesses. If you have a sideline business, good for you, but we're trying to get the money into the hands of full-time business people. The biggest criteria for eligibility is you have to at least have $10,000 in physical damage or a 20% decline in revenue. Now, $10,000 in physical damage, in my opinion, is not that much. A tree falls on your business car, a tree falls on the awning, a tree falls on your business building. $10,000 is not very hard, a threshold. Give us a copy of the insurance claim. Again, we need third-party evidence to show and verify the damage. A picture is not going to do. Or the 20% decline. Originally, the state said, let's compare your 2020 taxes to your 21 taxes. It has to go down by 20%. And we explained to them, time out, 2020 was COVID. So you had so many businesses whose income was depleted in 2020, they agreed to allow us to compare 19 to 21. So we can do 20 to 21, we can do 19 to 21, just let's see how we can qualify you. So again, if you meet all of these, and I say all, the last one is an either or, physical damage or decline. So if you're eligible, then we flip the page. What are you eligible for? Again, we're not gonna give you money to construct whatever it is that helped to make you eligible. What we're gonna give you money is for working capital. What does that mean? You pay rent for your business location, let's calculate 6 months rent. You have a mortgage for the building, the business, I'm not talking about your house, but again, the business location, you pay mortgage, let's calculate 6 months rent. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go down this list, keep stacking it. Non-owner wages and benefits. So if you do have employees, let's see what you pay them. The wages and the benefits, again, for 6 months. Let's calculate, it will make an average, and then we'll calculate it times 6 to calculate 6 months average. Utility bills, gas, electric, water, phone bills, cell bills, the internet. You know what your bills are. Show us 3 months of receipts for either of any of the 6 months prior to the storm. And that's actually a change in the last 24 hours. It used to be the 3 months prior, but again, anything within, we need 3 bills from the 6 month period prior to the storm to create an average that you then multiply by 6. Not on this is fuel. Another thing we got them to change and improve the program by. If you have a fleet of trucks, the fuel that you use in these vehicles for business, again, we're not talking about your personal truck, but for the business, the fuel, again, we get an average multiplied by 6, calculating 6 months. Inventory, if you have a retail establishment, a gas station, very easy to make this number pretty high. And again, we're adding all of these numbers. Equipment is gonna be fun. If you had equipment damaged by the storm, and again, you have that insurance claim. If you have been able to replace it, we can reimburse that replacement. Now, we're gonna deduct any insurance money, but again, some people didn't have insurance, some people had a deductible. So again, if you had equipment that was damaged and you replaced it or repaired it even, we can reimburse that replacement or repair. If you were not able to replace or repair, we can get us some quotes. We can fund the replacement. You need 3 quotes for any piece of equipment that you had, or again, 3 quotes for the repair of the piece of equipment that might still be hobbling along but had not been repaired. Everything I'm saying, we're adding up. Again, we're stacking these costs. The last one is my favorite. The last one says, if there is a piece of equipment that you did not have that could make your business more sustainable the next time there is a storm or a disaster, a generator on a trailerable generator, because again, this has to be movable equipment. It can't be something built into your building. So if you can dream up a piece of equipment, and again, it doesn't have to be a generator, but that's the easiest example that I can come up with. You know your business community knows their businesses, and they know what that might be. Quantify that, get 3 quotes, and that can be added to what they call an award. So let's go into what happens when we calculate all this up. The state likes to call it an award. It is a loan. The housing program, the Restore Housing Program, was a grant. The small business program is a loan. But before we decide that we're not interested, let's turn the page. What are we talking about? Everything we've stacked needs to at least be $10,000. We're not going to do anything smaller than 10. Everything that we've stacked can be as much as 150. And then you see in some copies it's an asterisk, but again in parentheses. By exception, if you can justify needing more than 150,000, which, as I understood in a conversation today, 80% of our files can justify a number higher than 150. So with justification, you can potentially get up to $250,000. Again, this is a loan, but this loan is a 0% interest loan. For the first 6 months, there's no repayment. It can be amortized up to 7 years. So we're talking 7.5 years of 0% interest. It is a loan. But the last bullet is my favorite piece. You pay back, the total, and let's just do easy math. Let's say it's $100,000. So I will literally be the person sitting with you and signing paperwork for the $100,000. We're going to amortize. We're going to assume that you will earn the forgiveness. So we're going to amortize $60,000, not $100,000, which will make your note lower, easier to pay. We're going to assume that you will earn, and when you reach repayment of 60%, so I give you $100,000, you make your payments over 7.5 years, you get to a point where you've paid back 60%. At that point in time, we will check, did you earn forgiveness? What does that mean? Did you turn in your tax returns to us every year, your financials? Did you turn in the receipts for what you use the funds for? There's a tick list of things that we say you are earning your forgiveness. So what happens? We check off all the boxes. There's going to be paperwork. It's federal money, so there's going to be paperwork a year later. How many employees do you have? This all the federal bureaucracy, and they want to do the reporting. We're going to check the box. It's a 1-pager. Did you do everything you needed to do? Did you pay back the 60%? If so, that last 40% is forgiven. That becomes a grant. That becomes a taxable grant. So save a little bit aside. What I'll tell people is get a red folder, save your receipts. Because again, we get audited, every file's gonna be audited, so again, nobody wants to be on the front page of any paper, it's federal dollars. Get your red envelope, put your receipts in it, send us your tax returns, and you can get forgiveness. So again, it sounds too good to be true, I understand that. I do not think, we've been doing this since May, I do not think we have an application from Port Allen. Please help us find these small businesses that might take advantage of this. We're begging the state, we had a conference call with the state, let the governor get on a television commercial. He did it 5 or 6 years ago. Again, it sounds too good to be true. Some people believe that it's too good to be true. A lot of paperwork, but again, I've opened 18 offices across the state. I've hired 30-something people to help people fill out their application. It can be done online at your house. But again, I've opened 18 locations and hired 30-something people. We have an office on South Harrods Ferry Road. 2 people will help you fill out your application if you want them to. They'll scan and upload the documents that have to be, attached to it. So help me find these businesses that need to know about this loan program. We used to call them grants and loans, but again, at this point, you have to earn the forgivable piece. But you're earning it by doing what you said you're going to do. You're earning it by paying the 60%. You're earning it by turning in your tax returns, showing us the financials, the paperwork having to do with your employees, and all that good fun federal stuff. The feds want to count. I will answer any questions.
Any questions?
It's pretty explanatory.
Again, the brochure has a bit more information. There's an 800 number. We have our website, scpdc.org. I can leave some brochures. Visited with Elliot before. He can help us maybe get it on your Facebook page or you said YouTube, something. Anything that y'all can do to help us, we'd appreciate it. Again, the business community needs to know about it. If they don't know about it, I was fussed at on this same conference call because I'm not getting a lot of applications in Lake Charles. That is absolutely a concern because absolutely Lake Charles is Laura and Delta.
Right.
I don't know what else to do other than we're doing what we do here. We did billboards, we did radio. Again, we're government, we're here to help you. We don't know about advertising anything. I hate to say that, but help us find these businesses. I thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we can go into agenda.
May I leave this here?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Appreciate it, Governor. Mr. Pierce, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Agenda item 7, authorize Mayor Lee to approve an agreement between the City of Port Allen and Lions Environmental LLC for contract support for Louisiana DEQ requirements for the sewer treatment plant. Mr. Joseph?
I am here, so I don't know where he's at.
All right, we'll pass on this one until Mr. Joseph gets back to it. Agenda item 8, public hearing to obtain views regarding the city's application for LCDBG program. Anyone from the public wish to be heard on this agenda item? No one wish to be heard from the public? Close the public hearing. Agenda item 9, consider adopting a resolution readopting the participation plan relative to the State of Louisiana Office of Community Development Grant Program. Ms. Roche?
Resolution number 1, and it's, so I guess we should have asked because that's not resolution number 1, it would be number 3. We have 3, 4, and 5 because we've already had resolutions 1 and 2. So do we have to do a change in the agenda to change the resolution?
No, I believe we
Okay.
can proceed as is.
Okay, well, this would be resolution number 3, it's located in your binder. Resolution number 3 of 2023, a resolution of the City of Port Allen to readopt citizen participation plan relative to the State of Louisiana Office of the Community Development Grant Programs. And this is just a redo of something, I think that this is for year 2024, 2025. We have to have all this in. in line to do it, and if you look through your binders, you have a lot of documents in there that was sent to us, and I didn't, and want to not include things that everything could be explanatory once you read through them, but basically, we're just setting up to apply for these, loans, and this is why we have to have these resolutions, on hand to do. And this is the first of 3, so this is resolution number 3.
This is something we do every year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Aricall touched on it.
Yeah, but he's out until next couple of weeks, and I handle him. Yes.
I move.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Revere, second by Councilwoman Gordon. Any objections? Hearing none?
Mr. Brown?
Yeah.
Ms. Gordon?
Yes.
Mr. Hubble?
Yes.
Ms. Lacy?
Yes.
Mr. Revere?
Yes.
Motion passes.
And this is the one that's, talking about last week.
Yeah, all 3 of these gonna be the same. Agenda item 10, consider adoption of a resolution to hire administrative services for the city of Port Allen relative fiscal year 2024-2025 Louisiana Community Development Block Grants. Resolution number 4 of 2023, Ms. Rochelle.
Okay, this would be resolution number 4 of 2023, a resolution of the city of Port Allen to hire administrative services relative to the 2024-2025 Louisiana Community Development Block Grant. So that's a part of the package.
I move.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Revere, second by Councilwoman Lacy, Gordon. Any objections? Hearing none?
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Gordon?
Yes.
Mr. Hubble?
Yes.
Ms. Lacy?
Yes.
Mr. Revere?
Yes.
Motion passes, Mayor.
Thank you. Agenda item 11, consider a resolution to readopt procurement policies for the city of Port Allen relative to community development block grants. Resolution number 5 of 2023, Ms. Rochelle.
Resolution number 5 of 2023, a resolution of the city of Port Allen to readopt procurement policy for the city of Port Allen relative to Louisiana Community Development Block Grant. And this is the 3rd part of that package. Can we get it?
I move.
Got a second?
Yes. Second.
I got a motion by Councilman Revere, second by Councilwoman Gordon. Any objections? Hearing none?
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Gordon?
Yes.
Mr. Hubble?
Yes.
Ms. Lacy?
Yes.
Mr. Revere?
Yes.
Motion passes, Mayor.
Agenda item 12, public hearing to obtain views regarding the ordinance for redistricting of the city of Port Allen for the purpose of elections and representation. Floor is open for anyone in the public who wish to comment on this agenda item. No response, we close the public hearing.
Okay, do I need to preface my vote with what I'm gonna say, or do I need to go ahead with public hearing?
No, you can do it when you do the agenda.
The vote?
Yeah, I mean, any council member can discuss the item that'll be up for adoption on the substantive item. This was just the public hearing.
Mhm.
The action item would come next.
Okay.
So the council is free to debate and express their opinions on
Okay.
the action item.
All right, agenda item 13, consider adopting the ordinance for redistricting of the city of Port Allen for the purpose of election and representation. Ordinance number 11 of 2023, Ms. Rochelle.
Ordinance number 11 of 2023, an ordinance of the city of Port Allen, Louisiana, approving the redistricting of the city of Port Allen for the purpose of election and representation. And I think you have the package in there where that was originally set as a part of the ordinance, which was like 88.
again, council, just to recap why this item is before you. The council previously adopted a resolution, an ordinance adopting Plan 8A as it shows the reapportionment plan. Essentially, there's kind of two documents that go along with the plan. One is a map, if you will, that shows a visual depiction of each election district boundary. Electronic versions of that map are submitted to the Secretary of State after the adoption of any plan. The other document that goes with it is a written ordinance, which basically puts the map, if you will, into word form. A description a verbal description of each election district. After the council had adopted Plan 8A, it had been brought to the attention that the written portion, the written ordinance, the description in it did not match necessarily the map that had been adopted. There was basically one little group that was left out. The ordinance, it did not affect any of the population counts or anything like that from what had been presented to the council in the map. So it was really just a add more language in to incorporate one little area into the written description that had been inadvertently left off. So the demographer did go back and provided the mayor with that corrected ordinance, and that's essentially what we have been doing, is just to be safe, go back and correct it.
And it's the corrected version, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they corrected the version. Version is written in District 1 of the ordinance.
This right what was before us.
Right. And it reads, the section, all of the portion of West Baton Parish bounded and described as follows, beginning with the point of intersection of the Port Island City line at Louisiana Avenue and the intersection of Eleanor Street, proceed northerly along Eleanor Street to Rosedale Road and proceed easterly along Rosedale Road to the intersection of 7th Street and proceed northerly along a non-visible extension of 7th Street to a non-visible boundary of West Baton Rouge School property and proceeding easterly along a non-visible property of West Baton Rouge Parish School property to a non-visible extension to North Jefferson Avenue and proceed southerly along a non-visible extension of North Jefferson Avenue to its intersection with Rosedale Road and proceed easterly along Rosedale Road to the shoreline and proceeding southerly along the shoreline to a non-visible extension of Court Street, and that section was the section that was added. Second. Any other discussion?
I do. I think everybody would agree that when you look at these plans, and the demographer has it in here, you have it on the national news, you're using percentages to determine what you're gonna have. And I'm sure that everybody, if you keep up with the news, you're familiar with the Supreme Court case involving Alabama. Alabama had 7 congressional districts. The makeup of the state of Alabama is 68.9% white, 26.8% black. You're presently asking for a second majority black district. Sounds good to me. I don't have a bit of problem with that. You got Louisiana coming in on the heels of the whole thing. 62.5% white, 32.8% black. With six congressional seats, asking for a second majority black district. Sounds good to me. Now, when we get to Port Allen, the percentages are roughly the same except they're flip-flop. We have 60.01 black, 33.99 white. But yet, in the districts by this AA plan, all districts are majority black. So I'm sure that if Mr. Floyd was here, he'd say, congressional districts do not fall under the same criteria as municipal, but what I've read, they do. And you still have the same percentage. Now, everybody knows I'm not for this program, this proposal. And I would strongly urge the council, when you sit up here and use the word community, then walk it. Because when you're leaving part of the community out, and that's what you're doing with this, don't sit up here and talk about community. But that's just my feeling. These are the percentages. The census is done federally. The U.S. Supreme Court is the third branch of the government of the United States of America. I don't know what it's to say. Mr. Floyd is not.
All right, any other comments?
So what are you saying, that we're not being fair with you out of our district?
No.
Redistrict?
No. I see where they need that in Alabama and Louisiana, and I'm in agreement with that.
Yes, Mr. Hubble, is
Big
Alabama,
courthouse.
Mr. Hubble, has it gone to the, U.S. Supreme Court yet? Has it made it that? It has?
Yeah.
Yes, and they were
They have been ordered to
ordered to,
re-
yeah. Louisiana will be
they're coming right on the heels.
right behind, yeah.
The Louisiana case is not as far along as the
No.
Alabama case was.
Yeah, to echo what Mr. Hubble said, I mean, it is fair. Your population is, whatever the numbers were he threw out, your district should mirror that. And this, what we have in Port Allen, won't mirror the city of Port Allen's population, but, I mean, it is what it is. And, my fellow council members, we'll all vote the way you see fit. And it's good, the state of Alabama is going before the U.S. Supreme Court, and the U.S. Supreme Court deemed, the initial proposal was not fair. They are entitled to minority districts. It seemed like that would fit Port Allen also.
I mean, I don't have a problem with the map, I have a problem, what you mean when you say about community? Tell me what you know about community. Tell me
Well,
that. Tell me what you know about community, just since you just wanna bring that up. And I know I ran on community first, so let me see what you feel about community and how it's not inclusive when we say community. I just wanna hear that.
How can you say that 33.3% that's left out effectively? Yeah, they can vote, everybody can vote.
Community, let's go back to that.
Community, let's say.
I want to just know what you meant when you said that, like,
Community.
when you said, when we sit up here and we talk about community, but this doesn't reflect community, how? Is this not the people in our
Community as a
community?
whole. Community as a whole.
Okay, and what does your community reflect? The same thing these maps reflect?
Yeah.
And have a majority of community that's either not doing the census or that's not living in Port Allen. We can't do nothing about the numbers, but just spew them in the. Just because it don't fall the way certain people want it to fall, hey, it is what it is. We didn't make the numbers up. We just had to use the data that we was given and make it apply. Now, it has been a different way before, and that's just how the numbers fell. But now, this is how the numbers are falling now. I mean, I don't see the big problem. It's still equal opportunity, is it not?
Oh, actually, I'm gonna say this here. I said it from the beginning, and I'm gonna say it now. Mr. Floyd asked all of us, council members, that we have a problem or issue with our district, to please meet with him. And I will say it again, over and over and over again. Only 2 council members met with Mr. Floyd, and it was myself and Brandon. And I asked, were y'all pleased with y'all district? No one said anything. Now, I don't know if y'all got a backlash from your constituents or what, but you all didn't say nothing. Gary, I beg you, say what you need to say. I said, I can't be a mind reader to what you all want.
When I
And
had,
I kept asking you, talk to the man. Y'all didn't. So we feel that everything is good until, well, and I told you, I expressed my concern to you guys. Why y'all didn't say anything when this man asked you all several times to come and meet with him?
I did meet with him in the conference room right there, and he showed me all the plans. And as I was leaving, I said I would like to study it more, but at this present time, I'm in agreement with the one that stated was headlined HR. And that was my inclination to. And I did have that meeting with him.
And Charlene, to answer your question, I mean, I met with him, and I made my proposal, and I stood by it. I still felt like it was, you know, what it amounted to, and I hate bringing up race, because, you know, I don't feel like, you know, I look at things the way they are, and mine had, more closely fit the racial makeup of the city of Port Allen. 3 black, 2 white. And I thought, if you want to follow the population like the Supreme Court made the state of Alabama do, that's kind of what, and, you know, and also brought up the fact that my proposal, the districts only move 2 blocks in the whole city, and I know it doesn't have to be that way, but to me, that's the most seamless way, least invasive way, but again, so yes, I mean, I did meet with Mr. Floyd, and my reasoning didn't change after I met with him the first time, so.
But
And
no
your
one said
map
anything.
reflected what we have from the baseline, and the numbers were different from then to now. And the only thing that you're looking at, really, because they have more blacks in each district, but if you're looking for voting, you still have to look at who can vote and who can't vote. Like, there are more whites voting in these districts as well. So it just only means you have to get out and do your due diligence to get the votes you need to be able to secure these seats. That's all it is.
I move.
I said,
I think we already had a motion.
We had Ms. Lacy and Mr. Brown.
Any other questions, comments?
No, sir.
You got
All of
Got
them.
any, got anyone from the audience who should comment on this issue? You know, I got a motion by Councilwoman Lacy and second by Councilwoman Gordon.
Brown, Mr. Brown.
Brian? Okay, I got a motion by Councilman Brown, second by Councilwoman Lacy.
It was Lacy and Brown.
First time?
Yes.
Okay. Right.
I got a motion by Councilwoman Lacy, second by Councilwoman Brown. Any objections?
And
I
actually, we
wish to be
just,
heard.
I'm sorry, Mayor, actually, we just voting on the correct wording of the rich district anyway, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
This is basically it's readoption of the ordinance that has the language, the correct language.
Okay, because we already had voted on.
Yeah, this is the same map that technically y'all already had adopted and voted on.
Okay.
And adopted a previous ordinance for the same plan, but again, that ordinance had some missing language in it, so now that it's.
Okay, we just voted for the correct language.
More detail.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Gordon,
Yes.
Mr. Hubble,
No,
Ms. Lacy,
yes.
Mr. Revere.
No,
Okay. Motion passes.
Thank you. Agenda item 14, public, Mr. Joseph came back, so we'll go back to agenda item
7.
7. Authorize Mayor Lee to approve an agreement between the City of Port Allen and Lions Environmental LLC for contract support for Louisiana DEQ requirements for the sewer treatment plant. Mr. Joseph?
Good evening, council. Well, this issue is associated with the Department of Public Works sewer treatment facility specifically. There are a myriad of forms and reports that are required to maintain compliance with DEQ. And there was some, I guess, turnover in the current provider of our lab services. Pace Analytical used to provide the lab work as well as the reporting, but they've made some changes in their system, so the reporting they provided is no longer available. Lion Environmental is a company that apparently is run by an individual that previously did work for us under a different name, and he's sold his company to the company that took over that work, and now he's back on his own, attempting to contract with the city to continue providing those reports. Mr. Bradford has indicated that it's imperative that the work is performed. He has confidence in Lion Environmental. It's operated by a gentleman named Nathan Levy, and the service is no longer available through PACE. So PACE will continue to do the testing, but Lion will do some paperwork. Any questions?
So if you had to guess, Lance, what would be the annual cost? I see 200, it seems 200 a month and then $50 per quarter.
It'll depend on the volume of services requested, but currently we never had it all itemized out because it was just one invoice from PACE. And they were invoices for the testing as well as the compliance. So we have not yet paid an invoice for Lion because it hadn't been brought before you. But Mr. Levy has been assisting Mr. Bradford anyway because he knew that there was a period where there was no one providing that service any longer. We had a meeting with him last week. He can do a lot more than what he's doing in this regard, but you're talking $200 a month, $50 a quarter. And there's some, it depends, sometimes there are interim compliance issues that arise with DEQ that he may have to consult upon.
So his bill rate is 125.
That's correct. But the vast majority of his work is fixed. The billable is just if it's something that doesn't fall into any of the fixed categories.
But he's not able to test. He just
Sorry?
He can't test. Do the test.
No. He doesn't have a lab. He just does the paperwork that's required to submit the testing information to the state. It's a process that's been ongoing for a while, you know. It's always been provided outsourced. It's just that there's some consolidation that occurred in the arena. So one company sold out to another company, and then they decided, they ran it, as one big company for a while. Then they decided, well, we do testing. We just want to do testing. So we're going to get out of the compliance part. So it's just, the nature of the beast in terms of growth and business development. Things change. Just gotta, call it on. Find another source. So Mr. Levy, Mr. Bradford identified Mr. Levy. He submitted his documentation to the mayor. He was satisfied enough to present it to the council to authorize execution of the contract.
Mayor, you met with Mr. Levy?
Yeah, we had a meeting this week, last week, in my office. And he assured me that, he's, gonna assist the city and, whatever. We got issues with the sewer treatment plant as it is. And, right now, he's gonna assist us so that we can stay out of, stay in compliance and out of violation.
We have operational issues. We don't have any compliance issues, just for the record. But the operational issues are associated with the fact that it's a 60-plus-year-old plant. So, there's only so much you can do in that regard. But we have maintained compliance. We're proud of that.
Lance, are y'all still looking for land for the purchase of a new place for the sewage plant?
We are.
Any luck?
That depends. So, okay. The type of plant that we are attempting to develop requires at least 6 acres. Mr. Araco suggested acquiring 10 acres to provide adequate buffering around those 6 acres so that you don't have to necessarily see all of the inner workings of it from any particular location. So the plan is to try to find a 10-acre piece that allows us to place it somewhere in the center and somewhat leave space for additional development, but also, like I said, buffering from outside lines of sight. That being said, as you know, this city is virtually landlocked. There's just not a lot of available land that meets those requirements, and that also fall within a particular location in order to utilize our current discharge line. It could save us a substantial sum of money if we could figure out a method to, a location that allows us to keep the line we have, as opposed to developing a new line to discharge into the Mississippi River. We have approached some folks. As you know, those efforts were unsuccessful. There is a piece of property that I evaluated last week. The only problem is it's on I-10 coming into the city. It's actually 10.2 acres, give or take. But no one's really too keen on putting a sewer treatment facility on I-10. So, but it may be the only option we have. I reached out to a realtor last week to see if the owner was interested in selling, and have not received any calls back just yet. But as it stands, ideally, we want to put it on the north end of the city because it's the easiest way to come back to our discharge line. But we can only do what we're allowed to do as far as obtaining the property now. I'm willing to explore all avenues. I'm willing to explore expropriation. The problem is, and we may have to go that route if no one's willing to sell us property in the free market. But there's not many parcels that meet the requirements. So in order to do that, you might have to take 50 acres, and sell it back to the owner. It's complicated. It'd be a lot easier if we just had a 10-acre, or 12-acre tract that we could just say isolate and proceed on. But there aren't that many properties that meet those conditions. So we look at it weekly, and trust me, this Interstate 10 property was a last resort, but it's without any property on the north end willing to cut out 10 acres for us. And we asked to buy it. We didn't ask for it to be donated or anything like that. We were willing to invest the resources, but no one's willing to part with the land. So if you want to talk about community, I would suggest making some calls to people in the community and let them know how serious it is to get a property for a sewer treatment facility. So just thought I'd mention that because they are part of the community, all of these landowners. And like I said, we're not looking for a handout. Just a hand up.
Okay.
All right, we did off topic here. Agenda item 7. I'll entertain a motion. Got a motion by Councilman Brown, second.
No sense?
Second.
Yes.
I got a second by Councilwoman Lacy. Any objection? Anybody wish to make a comment? Hearing none?
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Gordon?
Yes.
Mr. Hubble?
Yes.
Ms. Lacy?
Yes.
Mr. Revere?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Get back to the original agenda item 15. Consider an ordinance of the city of Port Allen providing for the creation of section 8 through
Did we do 14?
14, Mayor.
14. Agenda item 14, public hearing to obtain views regarding an ordinance relating to a city's grease control program. Anyone in the ordinance wants to be heard on this agenda item? No one wish to be heard? Or grease trap?
Grease trap.
Real quick, Jason Hammond, 4th Street Cafe.
All right.
Once this passes, what is going to be I guess you could say notification criteria and time frame in order to get your permit? Because this is a new permit that's going to be put into place.
A new permit as far as, because if I read correctly, the businesses that's already in existence will be grandfathered in.
No, that's
That's
strictly for the
sizing.
sizing of
Sizing.
the grease trap. But so my grease trap would fall under that grandfather clause.
Right.
Or my grease traps, because I have two. But I would still have to get a permit on an annual basis. I would have to have the testing done on an annual basis and pass it to receive the grease trap permit, correct? That's the way I'm reading it. So I'm asking what criteria am I going to be, notified, so to speak, other than just listening to y'all vote tonight? When am I gonna receive my first application?
Well, once the ordinance is passed and approved by the council, and then we'll send notice out to each one of the businesses that it will affect and give you, I'm assuming what the council agree to.
And it may be easier, I don't know when the city does other permits, but it may be easier just to start at 2024. Since we're already in October of 2023. In other words, you'll be required to, your permit will begin January of 2024. It's up to the, basically, it's the detailed staff will have to work out on that.
Because the way it's written, it's effective immediately.
The ordinance will be
is
effective immediately,
15 days.
correct.
So,
But the city understands that, the city understands that, it would need to give some leeway in terms of, first of all, creating its own internal process for all this, so it's not gonna be something where, we expect you to have a permit on paper tomorrow. The city, they gotta create a permit.
I realize that, I'm just trying to get an idea of time frames. So,
Right.
that's all.
Yeah, and like I said, we'll send a notice out to each one of the businesses and we'll give you that information as to when the effect will be started, which will probably be next year.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Close the public hearing.
Anyone else from the public wish to be heard on this agenda item? Hearing none, close the public hearing. Agenda item 15, consider an ordinance of the city of Port Allen providing for the creation of section 8 through 109 through section 86 through 109 through 86, 121 of Division 3 of Article 3 of Chapter 86 of the Port Allen Code of Ordinances for the purpose of enacting the city's grease control program. Ordinance number 12 of 2023, Ms. Richard.
Ordinance number 12 of 2023, an ordinance of the city of Port Allen providing for the creation of sections 85-109 through 86-121 of Division 3 of Article 3 of Chapter 86 of the Port Allen Code of Ordinances for the purpose of enacting the city's grease control program and to provide for related matters.
I vote.
Second.
I got a motion by Councilman Brown, second by Councilman Revere. Any objections, anyone from the audience wish to be heard on this agenda item? Hearing none?
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Gordon?
Yes.
Mr. Hubble?
Yes.
Ms. Lacy?
Yes.
Mr. Revere?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mayor, thank you, Evan, and thank you, Jason, for all your input.
All right. Agenda item 16, condemnation proceedings. Mr. Alvarez.
None at this time, Mayor.
Agenda item 17, alcoholic beverage permit. Mr. Joseph.
None pending at this time.
Y'all didn't vote on the ordinance.
Yeah,
Y'all did?
they just
Okay,
did.
I'm sorry. So quiet.
Agenda item 18, announcements and correspondence. Council, I want to advise you that one of our employees, Ms. Erica Taylor, submitted her resignation. She was a part-time utility clerk. And we will be requesting advertising for that vacant position. Secondly, Port Allen Middle School and Paulin Elementary School will have a Fall Fest Monday, October the 30th. Partial closure of Rosedale Road between Jefferson and 6th Street will be closed due to this festivity. October 3rd, Monday. Also, Justice for Trail Parade will take place October 28th, Saturday at noon, beginning at William Lee Park, and it will end at William Lee Park with a program or festivities after the parade. And lastly, Halloween trick-or-treat hours will be 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. on 31st.
I have an announcement.
Oh yeah, this week, this Friday, while on homecoming, they had the parade this past Sunday. And I think Port Allen plays Glen Oaks.
I have an announcement, just look for the announcement. Again, if I may.
All right. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. The Singing Spirit Dance is tonight at 5:30 to 9 o'clock p.m. at the Addicts Community Center. It's a $5 admission. There will be finger food and soft drink provided, no alcohol allowed, and the music is by Jude. Also, the Charlotte Missionary Baptist Church on 957th Street of Port Allen have our Cancer Awareness 2023, Stronger Than Cancer, Cancer Walk, Saturday, October 21st at 8 o'clock. The walk starts at Charlotte Missionary Baptist Church, left on Louisiana Avenue, right on Jefferson, left on Court Street, and in at the Centennial Park with a moment of prayer and water, and return back to the church. We are encouraging any and everyone to please come out and support this great walk. And also the Veteran on Parade. We are still looking for veterans, family members of veterans to participate on the parade, which will be held November the 5th at 1:30 p.m. That is your announcement for today. I thank you, council member, for wearing your pink shirt. Please do not leave. We would like to take a photo of you guys in your pretty pink shirts. Thank you.
What time does the walk start?
8 o'clock,
And that's on the 28th.
21st.
And I just want to thank everybody for coming out to the Harvest Festival. On Sunday, it was very nice, well attended.
Weather good.
Yes, beautiful weather. Thank everybody that supported it and, contributed to the event. As well as we have a Hallelujah night for those who want some safe fun, for Halloween night at Kingdom Life on Baton Life.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. If our speaker for our council speaker program would be that Sunday at 8 o'clock at Shiloh by Minister Alexis Smith, PhD. She's a member of St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church of Baton Rouge. So we having a great program that Sunday and a powerful walk that Saturday. So please come out and join.
Any other announcements? Go to agenda item 19, adjournment.
Move.
Motion by Councilwoman Gordon, second by Councilwoman Lacy. Meeting adjourned.